the 5. They'd won 3 out of their last 4, including a 13-point win over Melbourne in round 12, and under John Kennedy will be guaranteed to give 100%. The ground was quite a bit heavier than for Collingwood and Melbourne yesterday after last night's heavy rain, but despite that it was in more than fair condition. Late inclusions for North Melbourne were Moss for Smith and Buckley. And tonight we pick up the action with some highlights of the first half. With me in the commentary box are Ian Robertson and Don Scott.
Takes the hand pass at left centre wing. He's gone for a pass at Longmire again. That's mark number 3. Now he's a long way from goal. He can get distance with his kicks, as we've already seen today, right on 50. Ball coming around nicely, and that is through.
Chance now for Allison. Good recovery. Kicks the forward area. Here he is again, Longmire. 4th mark. John Longmire. Good-looking kick. Over the goal umpire's head. Another goal. Chance for Terry Wallis. Play on. Cullen at half forward. With pace, he runs away from Law. Left foot shot for goal is home. Goal to Bulldogs.
He's kept one of those off with a good run. Beasley behind his man. Larkin off the ground, and that full Footscray free kick that will be taken by Collins. It's a play on call, so he does. Beautiful balk. He could kick a goal, and he might have curved it in. He has. Great play. The MCG does indeed drain pretty well. Knock away by McDonald. Cullen might get there first. North Melbourne player beats him to it. That was Love. Boots it up to the 50-metre line. Hand pass now out to Spargo. That came from Clarkson, and that looks pretty good from here. It's a goal.
Marking duel. Paid. No. Here's a handball onto Arceri into an open goal. And North Melbourne's 6th goal on the scoreboard.
Wouldn't want to lose him. That's a real high ball. Beasley in from the side. And the fans say, take that off him. Beasley directly in front. Eddie McLean hasn't quite got his pace now after that knee injury. It's his 5th mark. It's not a bad sort of a kick. Will it be goal number 4? That is a ripper kick for foot.
Great battle here at the MCG. Harris gets his kick out in towards the centre. No mark. Where are the North Melbourne Rovers? Larkin's there, so is Spargo. Somehow Spargo got clear. Brilliant football. Gets the handball off. Now there's a chance for Love. He tries the big torpedo, wobbles off the side of his boot. Kennedy in good position and takes a well-judged mark in the back pocket for Footscray. Under enormous pressure, he gets the hand pass away. A little too easily for McLean, and scratched by McLean into half forward. Davies is tackled by Larkin. This could be a goal to North Melbourne. Larkin's snapshot looks okay. It's a goal. And a bad mistake by Michael McLean.
Well, he's not a bad player, Matthew Larkin. What I've seen him do today, he hasn't really been conspicuous, but what he does do, it's full of class. There's a lot of solidity, maturity about his game, and watch him in this instance here. The tackle, a strong tackle, and he is deceptively quick, and he has got enormous legs. He doesn't look all that solid from up here, but when you're next to him, he is a solid youngster. Matthew Larkin, one of the stars and stalwarts of the North Melbourne side.
Well, North Melbourne just kick away, a little bit more breathing space, 22 points advantage. Bryce struggling hard, gains possession, tackled by Cullen, gets the hand pass away, up towards half forward. Phil Cracker could have been alleged to throw. No, German. Love can't break the tackle. Hand pass goes through McDonald's legs. McLean there. This time he kicks it hard and high, and Allison takes the mark for North Melbourne. He plays on quickly, takes his full 10 metres, thumps a big drop punt goalwards. It's close, it's a goal! Magnificent play by Allison.
Good one for Footscray. They kicked 1-8 in the previous term and have done little to improve on that percentage so far in this quarter. Holding the ball, no, on the shoulder. Well, maybe a little bit lucky. A free kick going to Collins. And he's directly in front of goal. And a chance to bring up one for Footscray. As I said, it would be a badly needed one. He kicked a beautiful goal from a snapshot in the first quarter. Let's see what he can do with this. Directly in front. He's outside the 50-metre mark at the moment. That will kick from probably nearer to 40.
about steps.
Hit the post again. I think that's 3 posters they've had so far today. Footscray. Scoreboard showing North Melbourne still well in front. 10-9-69 to 5-12-42.
There's 27 points, North Melbourne. Martin to kick the ball in. Just 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Martin comes to the members' side. Good long kick outside 50 metres. Chance there for Harris. Off to Passmore. Passmore gets his kick in. Doesn't territory. Davies at the back. Gets past German. Kicks the ball up towards the forward pocket area, but a good strong mark taken by Harris. And he's looked okay in his first match.
Yes.
The brother of Darren Harris in towards the centre. Mark to Larkin. Larkin in the very, very hard centre of the MCG. Kicks North Melbourne into attack, but a good mark taken for Footscray in defence by Eccleston. He gets the hand pass off to Hunter. Hunter's kick a little bit off the side of his boot. Out towards the wing, and a spectacular mark taken by German. He handballs it off to Larkin, who's come into the play a lot in the quarter. He thumps the ball towards the goal square, and a good mark taken by Hunter. A little bit of strength over Phil Cracker. Hunter's kick in towards the back pocket. Eccleston takes the mark. Over the top, he's got Irvine in support. The youngsters for Footscray, can they bring their side back into this match? Irvine runs his full 10 metres and thumps it up towards half forward. A marking contest, good punch away by McCarthy, but there's Royal, where all Rovers should be, where the ball falls, and he gets around, right against the boundary line, inside 50 metres. Brian Royal goes for goal. Beasley's in the can't mark. Chance now for North Melbourne to come clear. Allison's handball finds Martin, and Martin kicks North Melbourne up towards the wing. Cousins is there. He fumbles badly, but he's able to recover and take possession of the football. But clean bowls McLean. Siri there. So is Cousins again. And he comes back, the big fellow, and does it well. Kicks it up towards half forward. It's thumped away. Here's a chance for Steve Wallis. He's been right out of the play. Larkin now, the creative player of Matthew Larkin. Up towards half forward. And a mark's been taken there by Steele. Steele inside 50 metres. Perhaps a little too far out to score. Going now to kick quickly. Long drop punt. Right up to the line. There's a mark. It's Bryce.
Can he take a grab?
Paul Bryce has already kicked 2 goals. He's going to be put round on a very difficult angle. But a clean mark to Bryce.
He's jumpy, you could say, Ian, anyway.
Most definitely. Well, he's so close, you really think he couldn't miss it. He can. Shocker.
You should know better than that.
Shocker. Perhaps took that a little too easily. But still, the ball is deep in North Melbourne's scoring zone. Michael Ford, the Footscray fullback, started the match on the bench, but Longmire kicked 3 quick goals and forced Mickey Malthouse to make an early change. Ford's kick out towards centre half back, and the mark's been taken by McDonald. Fiery Donald McDonald. 55 metres from goal. Short pass, loose player, Clarkson.
Bad checking by Footscray. Very bad checking indeed.
5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and Footscray trailing badly. Clarkson's kick will get the distance. It's accurate. It's a goal.
North Melbourne seem to be taking control of this game. I thought Footscray, the way they started after half-time, might claw their way back into the game. These last couple of goals by North Melbourne. Also Larkins picking up a lot of positions and driving the ball forward, and they're starting to take the opportunity of Larkins' play. Ground North Melbourne.
7 North Melbourne players have now scored goals. 34 points the difference. It's been a good quarter for North Melbourne. They've been most consistent. McLean will drive Footscray forward. They need a couple of quick goals before the 3/4 time siren. Knocked away by Martin. Royal robes it well. Grabbed by Passmore when not in possession. And the umpire has played him the obvious free kick. Now, he's hit the post twice today, so it's no certainty he'd get it. Passmore a little bit slow to let go. He had the ball originally. Brian Royal. 11 kicks. .35 out. And that is a goal at last. Need I say it, a badly needed one for the Footscray side. Royal second.
Well, Brian Royal been very inaccurate up forward, as a lot of other Footscray forwards have. That's 2 goals, 3 he's kicked today. But here, Beasley, Martin, well done by Martin. A bad tackle by Passmore. Good play there by Royal, reading the ball. Just did not quite get it. The intent by Passmore, but the execution not what it should have been.
Still 28 points the difference on Sunday night replay from the MCG in the third quarter. Knocked away by Cousins. Siri leading McLean and Royal for the ball. And he's booted out wide towards the right half forward flank. Steele and Eccleston. Socket off the ground up towards Kennedy. Cool seemingly in the crisis, but he's handballed it out of bounds. And it will be a boundary throw about 55 metres out from the North Melbourne goal. Cousins and McDonald. McDonald wins it cleanly. Down to Clarkson and also Love. A little bit closer to goal now, only about 35 metres around from the behind post. 3.5 minutes remaining in the term. Cousins over the back this time. Charge for North Melbourne. Marked by Ford on the last line. He's done well since he came on. This is Davies. Reloads it with a hand pass, and that's good to Hunter. Baxter back in turn to Davies. This is looking good for Footscray. The build-up is strong. They need a good mark here, and that's okay. The grimace on Foster's face as he grabbed it. Arm, obviously, or shoulder, giving him a lot of problem. That could almost get the distance, and in fact punched through for one behind. Good kick by Foster, but Footscray still badly needing some goals before the three-quarter time siren. 11-10 to. So to all intents and purposes, 5 goals.
Great to see Allison there, Donny, come in and thump that ball through from behind.
Yes, it is, but I'm more interested in Foster's arm. Ian, he seems to be a little bit better, but still does hang it on occasions.
Kick in, comes towards the member side. Good mark taken by Cousins. Just 2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Cousins short pass, looking for Beasley. Oh, scragged when he was nowhere near the football by Martin. And Beasley will take the free kick. An obvious one. And Mick Martin pulls down Simon Beasley.
Well, he's kicking from his unfavourite pocket today, isn't he?
I think Simon would like to forget about this afternoon. Actually, he's kicked 1 goal, 2, and a couple out of bounds on the full.
Well, I wouldn't be betting on him.
Well, just now's the one he'd probably kick on you, Don. Have a look at this, will you? If you don't mind, it's straight through the centre.
By 21 points, but Footscray again inaccurate during the third quarter, kicking 3 goals, 5. Could the Kangaroos hang on? Cricket ground now for what turned out to be a titanic finish to a great match.
We begin the final quarter at the MCG with North Melbourne leading by 21 points. Can Footscray pull the game out of the fire? Their inaccuracy in the earlier quarters could indeed prove costly. Ball knocked up to Foster, who's suffering from an injured shoulder. But it's North Melbourne swinging to attack through Allison. He's been one of their best players today. Beautiful hand pass comes out to Love, who shovels it out pretty quickly. The shot at goal for North was by Longmire, and he's got it.
An scintillating form, John Longmire, and it's been a little quiet since Michael Ford has been moved on to him. However, that's his 5th goal, and North Melbourne taking advantage of this dry ball. They're playing with a new ball every quarter, and if you can take advantage in the initial part, the ball does carry a little bit further. It's easier and lighter to handle. And North Melbourne certainly making the most of their opportunities, getting their first goal in the first 51 seconds of play.
And that's just what Footscray didn't need. 82 now to 55. Must get the first or quick reply. Baxter thumps it forward for the Bulldogs. Larkin racing after it, knocked away by McCarthy. Larkin actually played a scintillating third quarter. Now, the free kick has gone Footscray's way. Brian Royal got a push in the back, and the ball will be relayed to him. He'll take the free kick at right centre wing.
I wonder if Brian Royal suffers from calcification in that right bicep.
Hence the bandage, Don. Mark to McGuinness at right half forward. Footscray still in this game. Towering punt kick. Phil Cracker flying high at the back. Snapshot of goal by Collins. That's not bad. It might be his second and the quick reply that they need. It is.
He has been quite impressive up around that full forward line, Collins. His kicking has let him down, but then again, he's not lonesome in that department. And that's his third goal, Darren Collins. We see here on screen the high ball from McGuinness, but watch how Collins, as a lot of Rovers are doing, roving that pack. That was good play, running in with the flight of the ball. Former Collingwood player, played 20 games at Collingwood. He's played 6 this year, and his total is 28.
Back in the centre, the difference the same as at three-quarter time. A thump on by Mossop. Up towards half forward, Steve Wallis bumped off the ball. Harris is a free kick. It's going to Wallis, and Footscray a little fortunate because North Melbourne had the players streaming towards goal. A 50-metre penalty because the ball wasn't given back to the player on the full. So now Steve Wallis will be right over the centre, up towards centre half forward. The player on the mark is Peter German. And quite crucial now for North Melbourne. They've done it well for most of the afternoon. Wallace's kick up towards half forward. Campbell comes out. Too easy. Marks on his chest.
A good goal in the third quarter from a similar distance, Ian.
Beautiful kick, that earlier one. And he's a likely looking prospect, this young boy too. Tall, lean, and as you said, kick very well. Crucial kick for Footscray. Kicks for goal. Leans back on it a little bit. Offline. And a disappointed Adrian Campbell, not to say his coach, Mick Malthouse. North Melbourne by 20 points. Martin kicks to the outer side. Johnny Law in front, takes the mark. Experience versus the enthusiasm. And Johnny Law, there's still a place in the North Melbourne side for you. He's a dour goer, as John Law. And he'll kick North Melbourne out of trouble, out towards the wing. Marking contest. Love. Chance now for Steele. Steele's kick around the corner towards half forward. Goes over the top of all players. Steve Wallis is backed up well. Kicks it out towards the back pocket. Kennedy comes out. Good strong player, Rick Kennedy. Bumped as he kicks the ball. Good gather by Harris. Debut player. Up goal square. Love. Marks.
Pushed
Eccleston out.
Free kick.
Free kick to the Footscray player.
I don't think there's much doubt about that, Ian. It's pretty straightforward, but he took the gamble, but the umpire was in the right position to see it. Actually, these two sides have pretty well gone goal for goal since Longmire got those first 3 goals in the opening term. His opponent then was Eccleston. He was taken from the ground, and Ford's done a pretty good job. Might have been the damage. A real scramble out there on centre wing as Baxter comes up with the ball. Half forward flank, I should say. And it will be a ball up. It's going to be Mossop against Cousins. Won by Mossop. Picked up by Harris. She said pretty good debut today. Arsiri scrambles it towards the goal square. The only way to describe it. Kennedy, short kick. Cousins in front, strong hands, takes the mark. On the run, Brian Royal. In pursuit, Larkin. Royal straight down the ground. Chance for McCarthy. Got one hand to it. Couldn't drag it in. Phil Cracker. A fairly quiet third term. This guy didn't though. Matthew Larkin. He was brilliant in the third quarter. On to Passmore, the dry centre of the ground. He need to gather it pretty quickly. Good tackle from McGuinness. No, says the umpire. He was dragged. The advantage rule played. Away go North Melbourne through the agency of Clarkson, and it hits the post. Further behind the Kangaroos. They're 11th, 12-11 to 8-14. Still 21 points. Still plenty of time for Footscray with 20.5 minutes remaining in the match. Ford. To the outer side, Mossop. He's got into the back of Cousins then. That's a free kick for in the back. It'll go Footscray's way. Let's see who that is. It's Hanbury to take it. Hanbury from the 50-metre defence line goes long towards centre wing.
Up there, marking contest between Johnny Law and Foster. Foster with a crook shoulder. Kick off the ground by Steele. In towards the centre. Good gather by Love. Now there's a chance. Melbourne Harris over the top. There's something building. Bryce. Left foot shot for goal by Bryce. Right up into the square. Longmire can't mark. It's punched away by Ford and through for another behind to the Kangaroos. So 22 points now. That lead has been extended to. And time ticking away preciously for the Bulldogs. Ford kicks in short. Player there loose is Baxter. Baxter, 12 kicks and 4 hand passes, a serviceable job. Started as a tagger on Matthew Larkin. Towards the wing. Bryce can't mark. There's the crumb gatherer. Great little rover as Brian Royal kicks the Bulldogs up towards half forward. And a one-handed mark to Foster. Foster plays on quickly. Kicks it in short. Mark to Collins. Inside 50 metres. Darren Collins already kicked 2 goals.
Simon Beasley wanting the ball down quickly.
Collins goes for the torpedo punt. To the front of the square. No mark. Passmore. Short kick. Phil Cracker in the pocket. Tackled by all over the top is Dougie Hawkins. And Phil Cracker will take the free kick in the back pocket for North Melbourne.
Hasn't been Hawkins' day. He's been reported and spent most of the day on the bench, Ian.
Yes, I think he'd like to forget about Sunday, the 17th of July. Phil Cracker, short kick, finds Clarkson. And North Melbourne just taking up seconds. Clarkson goes long towards the wing. Mossop in front, can't mark. Good gather by Hunter. Hunter's kick up towards half forward. Talk about him 1 minute, and he comes in with a great mark the next. Statistics terrible,
yeah.
aren't they? Yes, they really do tell Dougie Hawkins' story this afternoon. But there's a chance for himself to gain a little bit of glory here. He punts for goal. Drop punt kick, not bad. Punched through by the North Melbourne defence for another behind to Footscray. They badly need 2 quick goals, Footscray, to get a bit of momentum going. They trail by points.
I'm just trying to think of moves that Michael Malthouse can make to try and get his side back in, but there's not too many he can do. Just have to rely on the players and hope the ball starts to run for them.
Martin to Mossop, knocked away by Cousins. Davies trying to gather the crumbs, not successful. Mossop loses out. Davies, well, high hand pass and knocked over the boundary line by Hunter. So a boundary throw in, 50 metres out, left forward pocket, left, or we'll call it half forward flank, I think. It's not quite in the pocket. And here he goes again. This that's going to be pretty close too. Oh, that's a great kick at goal, son. And it's been a pretty good struggle. Picked up by Irvine for Footscray. Irvine, wobbly kick out to Foster. Drag, did he have the ball? Umpire says no. Free kick to Foster. Still claiming that shoulder, which is obviously pretty sore. Long kick, though, by the interstate centre half forward, looking for Beasley, and he's marked it. No!
Oh, really?
Well, I tell you what, it hasn't been Simon's day. A couple of near grabs haven't been paid. 1, 2. I'll tell you what.
I think the umpire is right.
I've seen worse paid as a mark, though, Don, just the same. But a line ball, which didn't go his way. Picked up by Hawkins. Snaps it back to the pocket. Collins! Collins, 15 metres out, has the chance to bring Footscray the closest they've been since the first quarter.
I mean, what a great mark by the little fella there, running into space, not knowing what's coming.
Very crucial kick.
Very busy player up on that full forward line.
10 kicks, coming in for his 11th. And what would be his 3rd goal. Crowd likes it. It's a ball game. Collins is 3rd. Still Malthouse doesn't smile, but he'd be feeling a little bit better. 84 to 75.
Well, Darren Collins has kicked 3-3 today, but here's Doug Hawkins, a quick kick, and then Collins running with the flight of the ball. And they're very, very hard marks to take. A permanent foul, along with his other counterparts, been a little bit inaccurate and copped one for his trouble from his teammate as he was lying on the ground.
Well, there really hasn't been much in it for most of the match. Footscray just haven't been able to capitalise, and in the last few minutes they've kicked 2 quick goals. Now the ball between wing and half forward, slightly favouring North Melbourne. The ball comes to the rear. Davies, Bryce taps it out. Beautiful play by Bryce, and gives German the chance to kick the left foot up towards centre half forward. No mark taken. It comes clear. Larkin in there, so is Mossop. Footscray players Baxter and Hunter, and the umpire Rowan Saws will bounce at half forward for North Melbourne. Can North Melbourne answer the Footscray challenge? Mossop tries to take the ball out of the air. Held it. Umpire will bounce again. Little bit of unproductive football the last few seconds. 12-12 plays 10-15 halfway through the last quarter, and Both these sides striving to stay in touch with the final five. Up over the top, Cousins. Larkin gets it away. Chance for Spargo. Spargo's high ball goes to within goal-scoring distance of North Melbourne. A mark badly needed. Steele striving hard. Wallis flips it. That's Steve Wallis. Flips it over the boundary line. And perhaps a safety precaution for the Bulldogs. Deep in North Melbourne's forward pocket. A chance for the Northerners.
Boundary throw in the right forward pocket. Up over the top, Cousins with Law. Out it comes to Steve Wallis. Tried to get a hand pass to McGuinness, who was grabbed when not in position to take the free kick in the left back pocket.
Law on the forward line for North Melbourne and Clarkson on half back.
The Footscray can get the next goal. It'll be less than a kick in it. After North had a 5-goal break earlier in this final quarter, McCarthy was the fire. Out it comes to Eccleston. Just dragged from the kick as he booted it into play from the boundary line. Harris, long hand pass, and taking it as Bryce. Awkward style, but he's been effective today, and Cousins the effective mark at half back. He's played a good game, Don, hasn't he?
Very solid performer and much improved too.
McLean in front, Arceri at the back, spoils him at the last minute. Campbell going through pretty solidly, gets offloaded by Love. Now it spills to Allison, well shepherded by Arceri from 50 metres out. He can go from there, be handy for North. But off target, I fancy, and one behind. So this game very much alive with 13 3/4 minutes remaining. 85 to 75, a difference of 10 points. The ball back into play towards the outer side. And the mark is taken by Irvine to Baxter. Footscray finishing full of running. Baxter with a long kick, covers a good 50 metres. Phil Cracker behind, can't outmark Foster.
What a great effort by Foster.
One-handed he's playing this game.
Foster kicks Footscray right into their forward pocket areas. A mark there. Hawkins. Well, he's played a terrible game this afternoon, Doug Hawkins, but in the last 5 minutes, he has been responsible for getting the ball to Collins for 1 goal. And another good mark, a short pass. Beasley. Yes, he's got this one, surely.
That would have hurt.
50 metres on, is it? It is. Well, if you can mark this down, he's got to be on the goal line.
First good thing that's happened to him all day insofar as decisions. He's had a rotten go. Oh, yeah. Did look worse on the replay, didn't it?
If Beasley kicks this goal, the difference will be only 3 points.
And that may be able to see it again. That left eye looks a little swollen around the eye area.
Beasley kicks for goal and puts it through. Footscray storming home.
Well, 4 points of difference, and there hasn't been too many moves made. Hawkins playing on the forward line, and Jimmy Cracker caught out then. The high ball from Foster, and Cracker behind just wasn't big enough to punch it away. Now he stood the mark, Cracker. Foster able to get it to Hawkins. Hawkins in turn across to Beasley. And the North Melbourne defenders a little loose on that occasion. Now we've got a real game, only 4 points of difference, favouring North Melbourne.
Well, the centre ruck contest, very, very vital. All players in that centre square, lots of pressure on them. Rossop gets the tap out. Passmore can't get the kick away. Arceri a chance. Hannaberry. Now Baxter finds a path through, gets his kick just away. McGuinness, the Bulldogs on the boil. McGuinness wide at half forward, forced to kick with the right foot. It into the pocket, Beasley can't mark. Now there's a chance for Collins. Handballs away to McLean, back onto the right foot. Magic, Mick McLean goes for goal. And misses. 3 points, North Melbourne.
Would have put them in front for the first time today. 85 to 82. Footscray have kicked 4 goals in this final term. North Melbourne has kicked 1, and that was the first goal kicked in the final quarter. Martin, this time favouring the members stand flank. Cousins and Mossop to Hawkins. Long into the goal square. Beasley the target. Oh, strong mark. Martin just showing the better judgment from his much more experienced opponent.
Been a good battle between those two today.
Yes.
Experience versus youth.
And what a match as such. Martin, short pass. Looks for and finds Bryce, who's done some useful work on the forward line as well. Capping it off with 2 goals. His kick doesn't much insofar as distance is concerned. Mossop was the target. Picked up for Footscray by Hunter. Scrappy kick back to the 50-metre line, but the boundary line is going to beat them all. And it will be a throw-in. Left half forward flank for Footscray. 85 to 82 with 11.5 minutes remaining in the final quarter. Boundary throw-in knocked down by Bryce. He'll turn over to Passmore. Relayed hand pass to Harris. Harris over the top again. Taken by him. Boundary line. Spears a pass into Peter German. German, not a well-directed kick though, and the mark is taken by Ford just up from the back pocket. Relays it and turned to McLean. And Phil Cracker had the better of earlier in the day. Harris takes a strong mark in front of McGuinness to put North Melbourne back into attack. North Melbourne needing a couple of goals to steady themselves after they led just about all day. Umpire has paid the mark, has he, to McCarthy? Yes, he has.
Well, there's a change because McCarthy was centre half
on Foster.
McDonald's now at centre half back.
McCarthy can take a grab too, as we just saw then.
They'll be kicking from just inside the 50-metre mark. A chance to make the difference. 9 points. 10 minutes to go. He's off target. Moves it to the far side and one behind, so the difference is 4 points on Sunday night replay.
Well, great finish now for this match as we have a quick look at John Kennedy and his distance in the coach's box. Ford will kick the ball in for Footscray, going straight up the ground. Less than 10 minutes remaining. Bulldogs have struggled hard all day. Cousins free kick. Mossop all over the top.
He's played well.
Cousins has done very well. Kicks Footscray into attack. A long torpedo towards centre half forward. Over the top, Foster can't mark. Royal into an open goal. Brian Royal, one bounce from 25. Goes bang and puts it through. The Bulldogs in front for the first time during the afternoon.
Well, he's not a quick player, Brian Royal, but by anticipation, he adds to his lack of speed. And the way he did it then, he read that ball very, very well. A very nice sidestep to the right, getting away from McRae on that occasion. And a good goal by the little fellow. He's played most of his football today. Foster up high on the full forward line. There he is, breaking that tackle. He had McLean. He decided no, he wouldn't go. One bounce, looked around, steadied. Despite Harris coming, he was just strong enough and had too much poise on that occasion.
Well, he's a good player. Bounce back in the centre. Now the pressure on North Melbourne. Here's that man again, Royal, up towards half forward. Mark to McDonald. He plays on. Royal again. Caught, but he shrugs the tackle. 2 kicks within a few seconds. Up towards half forward. Hawkins in the play. Pushed off the ball by Cracker. The umpire will let it go. Bryce at half back. Can't move the ball on. Now he gets it out. Picked up by Campbell. Shot for goal by Campbell's high. Into the square. Beasley can't mark. Ground Foster. Another goal to Footscray. And they lead by
North. 8, sorry. He's getting excited. And remember earlier in this final term, they trailed by just on 5 goals. Cousins gets it over to Irvine. Here they come again. Footscray to half forward. Cracker's there. Can he stem the tide? Over the head by Hawkins. And Phil Cracker will pick it up. Well shepherded. In pursuit is Campbell. He won't catch him. Cracker out to the 50-metre defence line. Down goes Hanbury. Fires the hand pass out to Davies. It could be another one. Off target. One behind. 9.
Well, they're full of running now and confidence, Footscray.
Can North Melbourne answer the challenge? North Melbourne hasn't scored a goal since the opening one of this term. And that happened, I think, in the first 30 seconds, Ian. Oh, Foster getting a mile off the ground. Couldn't complete the mark. Larkin kicks it out towards centre wing. And Hanbury. Allison in trouble. Nearly had his head taken off. Surely would get the free kick. And Allison at left centre wing to drive. 7 minutes 50 remaining in the game. Allison chips it short. He's looking for McRae. Got him on the run. McRae now into the pocket. The mark is taken by McCarthy, who's moved to half forward. As we said earlier, had spent most of the day on Foster at half back, so he's taken a couple of good marks at half forward. 10 so far for the day, so not a bad statistic.
Boggy area of the ground where he's kicking from.
That's the step. At the back, Cousins, what a great mark.
He has really lifted his game in this the last quarter.
I
think he's played 4 consistent quarters, Don. Good mark by Irvine. Footscray full of running. This is Hunter now, streaming down the ground come the Bulldogs. Ball rebounds off the pack. Foster knocks it down to the youthful Campbell. Campbell up to half forward. McRae at the back. Can he get clear of Collins? He does so, and North out of danger.
McRae at half back. North need to kick the next goal. Up towards the wing. ALASTAIR over at the crucial stage. Hannaberry on his feet. Up towards the forward pocket. Collins outside 50. Short pass by Collins. Beasley.
What a finish.
25 metres from goal. Simon Beasley. 45-degree angle. Good vision by Collins. And Beasley took a long while to kick his first goal. He's kicked 3. And this could be a very, very big nail in the North Melbourne column. Shoots for goal. He's put it through. A great goal by Beasley. And Footscray with a bit of breathing space. The transformation in the last quarter has been unbelievable. 15 points now, the Bulldog lead.
Well, I don't know whether it was the fact that North Melbourne made a change, but here's Hannaberry getting the ball across to Collins. Now, Larkin is Collins' man. Larkin went down and picked him up now. He was near him on that occasion. Hence, Martin had to run towards Collins, and then Beasley was left by himself. A 2-on-1 situation, and unfortunately, North Melbourne defenders caught out.
North Melbourne led by 21 points at the final change, and Footscray really coming home with a wet sail here at the MCG. Love now. North Melbourne must get a couple of goals quickly to stay in contention. Kennedy dives on it. More intent perhaps on smothering it than taking the mark. He wasn't going to let anybody get that. Wallis the last man to get up. A bounce, or is he going to throw it up? It's the latter, one of the heavier parts of the ground. McCarthy got high in the air. McLean boots Footscray out of danger, up towards the open spaces of the centre wing. Bryce having trouble picking the ball up, finally caught by Campbell. That was a great tackle, trying to break clear as Harris. Might have got one in the back from Davies. But Davies is going to get the free kick. Gets around McDonald. Shortish kick to half forward. It's a North Melbourne mark. Brought down by McRae. Over to Phil. Mossop and Cousins. Baxter. Footscray not doing too much wrong at the moment. Hannaberry's kick. Back to Phil Cracker. It's kick for kick at the moment. Epplestown in front. Allison over the top. Looks for Arsieri. Can't quite get there. Beautiful smother. That was from Hannaberry again. Back to Allison. North Melbourne fighting desperately to get the ball forward, but Epplestown beats the ball and gets them out of danger.
Epplestown kicks the ball back towards the wing. Hawkins can't mark. A flip over gives Baxter the chance to kick it off the ground. Can't find it. In the back. Advantage real paid. Larkin. Back it goes to Passmore. Passmore's short chip pass is effective, and Clarkson takes the mark. Clarkson too far out to score. Kicks it within 45, 40 metres. Mark Nilly to Longmire. Forward. Longmire's there striving to gain possession. He does. Handball off to Harris. The ball in North Melbourne's forward pocket area, and it's rushed over the boundary line by the Footscray defence as Mark Arsieri trundles in.
Less than 4 minutes to go.
15 points Footscray lead by, and it's been a meritorious performance by the Bulldogs. Kick over the top by Love to the front of the square. No mark. Chance for North Melbourne to score. Nearly a hand pass by Wallis. McLean, Irvine, Royal, short pass, a little bit too high for Davies, close to the line. Kick by Harris, up towards the forward pocket. A mark to German. German for North Melbourne.
Footscray have looked much better in this last quarter since on onto the ball.
German about 45, 40 metres out. Hooks his kick up towards the front of the square. No mark taken. Ball comes away through Epplestown. Good defence. Left foot kick out towards half-back. Mossop takes a mark at last. Ironical cheers. German's left foot kick towards the square. At the back, McCarthy. Oh, he runs into a Cousins tackle. Strong play by Kennedy. Looping handball over the top. Irvine, half-back flank. Thumps the Bulldog out towards the wing. Foster can't mark. There's been a kick paid up the field. Obviously, the player in the back pocket. Irvine thumped after he kicked the ball, and the free kick will be taken down on the defensive side of centre wing by Foster. Foster, gain, performance by him. 14 kicks, 12 marks, 7 hand passes, and he's got a crook shoulder. Torpedo punt kick to half forward. Thump over the line by Campbell, and the Bulldogs can breathe again.
Good
They
play
lead
there.
by 15 points, and we're close to full time.
Good play by Beasley to come. They weren't matched in the height department, Footscray on that occasion, and Beasley coming well down off the full forward line.
Less than 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Wallis to Royal. He's played a great last quarter, Brian Royal. 8 possessions so far, and that's Baxter taking the mark.
And a courageous one at that.
Now Baxter, better known perhaps as a tagger, has a chance to be a sealer, to seal the game for Footscray. Peter Howe indicating where the mark is. 16 kicks, Ian. Pretty good effort.
And he has put Spargo out of the game since he has gone on to him. Started on Matthew Larkin. Larkin then went to the back pocket. And as the game progressed, he's picked up the man who is on his mark now, Paul Spargo, and cut him out of the game.
Well, Footscray trailed by 21 points at three-quarter time. They were 7-13 to 11-10. Paul's got the first goal of this quarter. It's been all Footscray since. And that's another goal to Footscray. Points in favour of Footscray, and they trailed by that margin at three-quarter time. Collins, wild kick out in spaces at the centre wing on the member stand side. And the ball will be booted over the boundary line, or off the hands over the boundary line by North Melbourne's Bryce. Boundary throw in, middle of the interchange area. Cousins in front. Over the top was Foster, still grimacing. I don't think that did his shoulder much good, landing rather heavily.
Interesting to know what the extent of that injury is, actually.
Especially as he stayed on the ground since copping it, which was in the first. Up to Larkin. In turn back to Spargo for North Melbourne. Spargo with a high kick down towards the 50-metre line. I think North Melbourne's race is just about well and truly run. This is Davies. Gets it back in turn to Irvine. In turn to McGuinness. Back to Davies again. It's keepings off at the moment. Ball very close to the boundary line. Kept in play. Davies again takes the hand pass. Pass from Campbell. Late tackle. Could almost be 50 metres. Baxter goes back for the kick. I don't think he's going to worry too much about it, Ian.
I don't think Howe was too keen. Baxter's kick into the pocket. Beasley takes the mark out in front of Martin. Just seconds remaining in the match, and Simon Beasley going for goal number 5. Footscray. Well, I think Michael Malthouse can be proud of his boys because they have trailed all day. Beasley shot for goal. Close, it's through. A goal on the siren to Beasley. He walks off the ground. The race not far away.
Great last quarter by Footscray. They kicked 9 goals for in the final term to win by 27 points. For Footscray, Beasley finishing up with 5 goals. Long